Welcome to the Cool Fireman Podcast, a virtual firehouse kitchen table with Matt, Adam, Brian, Doug, and Freddy, where they discuss everything that matters in today's fire service. Now let's get to the show.
Them's call-hots.
Call-hots.
Mm-hmm.
You know it, baby. She said, I may have to get you a gray pair for Christmas. I said, well,
whatever
you want, baby. Whatever you want. So anyway.
You'll never go wrong buying a man Carhartt.
No. Speaking of all the nice things that we've all got, you know what would be great for our viewers to do? Head over to the link that we just dropped for our new store with all of the stuff from the Cool Fireman Podcast. So we mentioned it last week, but Notorious Fire, the store is live.
Mm-hmm.
All the cool things. All the cool things. I don't think we can show it. And if I tried to show it, Matt would get mad because he's not here today.
Mm-hmm.
But there are things like stickers, mugs, hoodies, stainless steel mugs. Let me see. What else is over here? T-shirts. So
entire car wraps.
Yes. We'll send you the JPEG file or the DWG or whatever that means.
I don't know.
And coming soon, puppies.
Oh, man.
It's Christmas.
Straight, like real ones?
Yep.
Yes.
And it just keep checking the store daily for puppies.
Yeah.
Cool Fireman Podcast puppies.
So this is, when this drops, I don't think we're going to have everything launched just yet. We're trying. Notorious is very big right now. His name is Linwood, but he's extremely busy this time of year getting ready for the Christmas season. But please go to his store, check it out. We're going to have the storefront there linked in our show notes as well as all of our socials. But in fact, we hit record so fast, I didn't even have a chance to tell you. We're doing an introductory
We're doing a
sale.
what?
We're doing an intro sale. Introductory sale.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So 15% off of all the orders. TCFP, the Cool Fireman Podcast, TCFP promo code is going to get you 15% off now through the end of November. So go get you something right now. We've launched that with them. Enough about that. But go check it out. So thanks to them. It's taken us too long to get that up and running, but it is there in time for the holidays. So we're super stoked about that. Also, Unkies, speaking of guys doing big things, he sold out of garlic and herb this week. Did y'all see that?
Gone.
That guy
did.
Gone. So
Gotta
if you wanted it, it's too late. Maybe he'll get it back in time before the holidays. Hopefully we can hope. But if not, you better go and grab some of the other stuff that's on the website before it grabs as well. So let's roll that promo.
From the firehouse to your house, Unki's seasoning packs bold, firehouse tested flavor into every meal. Whether you're grilling, roasting, or just sprinkling it on your favorite snacks, our blends turn everyday eats into unforgettable bites. Pick your flavor, shake it on, and taste why it's Firehouse approved. Go to unkisseasoning.com.
That's the promo. I hope.
Freddy, that was perfectly timed.
I hope that Unki uses the Idris Elba meme when the garlic and herb is restocked. Hey, tell him we back up.
Tell him we back up.
Tell me back
from the Wire.
I totally didn't know what you were talking about there for a second. I was like, wait,
one of the greatest shows of all time.
Easily one of the greatest.
I love it. Hey, speaking of the greatest, I tell you, I love a long sleeve tee this time of year. Because like Doug said, when we're recording this, I know it's not like Freddy, Michigan cold, but like today, the highs are like 40 something. It's cold for us here in the South.
33 right now.
It's in the mid
33.
It's in the mid 30s here, and the wind's blowing 10 to 15 miles an hour. So it's pretty chilly outside.
The high today, I think, was supposed to be like 49, and the wind's blowing. So,
and I'm coming off Mando 24 hours yesterday, so I'm gonna chill in the house today. I got to go to ball practice tonight, but I'm staying inside today and back to work.
You gonna cut it short tonight at softball?
No, we're indoors.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say them girls are gonna be freezing.
No. Every Tuesday night we go inside and do hitting, and Saturdays mornings we do outside defensive stuff. And this is our last practice of the year, actually.
If you were going to be outside, you should put that long sleeve tee on from the burn box.
Last practice of the year. Last term this weekend, and we're off until May Maybe
Well,
early
you
June.
should wear that long sleeve tee no matter what, because it's pretty neat.
I
What was
love
it
a
on
long
it?
sleeve t-shirt.
It was what was on it this month? It was the Salty
Tool Company or something.
Salty Tool Company. I was gonna say it was something like that, but I love that thing. It's like it's not so heavyweight, but it's lightweight enough.
Mm-hmm.
So for us guys in the South, or if you wanted to wear it as an undershirt to your hoodie, it works out really well. What are you doing?
The blanket works well. I'm getting hot.
I was gonna say,
I have
a stripping over here.
I have a Carhartt hoodie on. Matter of fact,
We're all wearing Carhartt. Hey, Carhartt, how about sponsoring the
Cool
Fire
wrong with Carhartt?
Not at all. There it is.
Salty's service.
Locksmith. Residential, commercial. Here, put that back up. He can't hear me. Residential.
What do you mean I can't hear you?
Oh, I thought you couldn't. Residential, commercial, and multifamily. Hitting and driving since Master Key. Nice. Yeah, there was a date there, but I couldn't read it.
I'll wear that when I'm teaching forcible entry at the college.
Nice. I think there's a promo coming right now.
Brought to you by the Burn Box, the #1 firefighter subscription box. The Burn Box celebrates firefighter products and firefighter-owned and operated businesses. Start today and receive a monthly box of firefighter apparel, gear, and tools. Check them out at theburnbox.com.
I hope.
Perfectly cute. We love Tom at the Burn Box as well. Real quick, moment of silence. And I think this week, being that it's Veterans Day, I know it's not Memorial Day, but obviously in order to recognize Memorial Day and the sacrifice given for them, we should recognize all those who have served in the line of duty, whether it's in the fire service, any form of public safety, and the armed forces. So this week, that's what we're going to recognize is our brothers and sisters in the armed forces as well, because we're recording actually on Veterans Day. You'll notice it's light behind me. So I'm blessed to have this day because of the veterans that served and who also gave the ultimate sacrifice as well. So let's do that for 5 to 10, guys. Amen. Well said.
And I'd like to add, while not a line of duty death, my department suffered a loss this past Friday. A young man, 23 years old. He'd been on with the department for almost a year and a half. Sammy Urshadat lost his life in a motor vehicle accident. We buried him Sunday.
Yeah, you shared that with us, Doug, and those are never easy.
Young man just starting his career, very well liked guy. So somber times around my department right now. Yeah,
I can only imagine. We had a member die in a car crash as well, and those are just different, right? Like the way that they impact your agency, because you're not prepared. You're not prepared for that. You interact with people when you come to work, and whether it's line of duty or not, it's almost like that's not the way this is supposed to happen. You're the one responding to, not being responded to, if that makes sense. Yeah. So either way. Yeah. Like I said, we're recording on Veterans Day. And so this week's topic, we wanted to kind of recognize veterans and really talk about the role that they play in emergency services as a whole, but specifically in the fire service. So I live in a community where there's a Marine Corps base. And so the Marine Corps obviously is a great recruiting tool, whether that's in volunteer.
Just had their 250th birthday yesterday.
They did. The Marine Corps celebrated their 250th. We obviously knew that here in our community. It's loud and proud.
I'm sure it was loud. Yeah,
it was very loud. And we have the largest military amphibious base on the East Coast.
Probably no crayons to be found for miles.
None. Son, they took them off the shelf. They had to make sure that they could keep some, so they put them in the back. But seriously, it's a great recruiting tool for us. In fact, we run a daytime and a nighttime academy in the fire academy here, just because of the pool that it has, the workforce readiness, where basically they can transition out. But so many of them return back to service back at home, so they don't always stay. But I know we talk about the volunteer fire service. A lot of them serve. So we get experience from firefighter Johnny, who's a Marine who used to volunteer back in Ohio, for example. And so he comes with experience, and that's great for us. The challenge that it presents for us, though, is that it's his duty station or her duty station for 2 to 4 years, and then they're transferred somewhere else. That's hard. Or I tell you what else happens is if they're young and not married, because we are a training base for entry-level Marines, we're not where they go to boot camp, but they come for infantry training. They're on the base and they want to volunteer while they're here for those 2 years, and they're not married, so they don't live off base. They live on base and they want to volunteer, but we don't have the facilities or the infrastructure to support that. So unlike places, volunteer houses that have bunks and everything else, we're responding from home, and we don't have the infrastructure for a live-in for those members. And that's hard. And when I was county fire marshal, it's not that we didn't want to do it, but it's also, we lived through Desert Storm, and at a moment's notice, that workforce can leave very quickly for war. So you hate to pay and build up infrastructure for something that's not always sustainable, if that makes sense, even though our whole community is built off of the military presence, the infrastructure that's here, the growth, the business, that kind of stuff. So
wouldn't it be fair to say, though, making that investment could eventually push you into, or do you think that you are always going to be that volunteer situation?
We're in the middle of our second fire service study since I joined the fire service back in 1998. We went through one in around 2011, which ultimately drove us to additional equipment and infrastructure, as well as some paid staffing. But our service is a little bit different. Maybe I don't want to say that's a whole another rabbit hole. We can go into that later, but the outcomes of that initial study were very beneficial. I attended some meetings recently, and I told our fire service, but I think without going too much down a rabbit hole, the beauty of the volunteer fire service is pride, honor, and tradition. And so these studies, a lot of times, and as a guy who does them, you have to walk very carefully, because in most communities, the current chief, his father or his father's father is the one who started that fire company, or there's a member in there that their father and their father's father started it, and their son is a member, and the grandson is attending meetings, but yet there's only a handful full of them, and it's not enough to sustain the whole organization. So, and that's where it is. So to your point, yes, it would be good. And I think that's a nationwide problem, not a Eastern North Carolina military base problem. It's part of a much bigger fire service discussion as a whole.
That's fair.
Yeah. So it's not an us, it's a whole nationwide issue. But, again, and that comes at a cost to set up those infrastructures. But I think it is a discussion that should be had, where you have the military presence as a whole, is like, can you capitalize off of that? Or like where you have a fire academy itself and there's other communities around you who don't. So I was just at a station recently where Nick worked in Fayetteville, and I had a meeting there last week, and that station was built for Fayetteville State University, where I got my degree. And that station was built to be a live-in fire station for folks in the degree. Well, it transferred to all online. So the whole premise of having live-in firefighters that could man a fire truck at night and during the day go for their degree, well, that went away because everyone's getting their degree online and they don't have to be in a college setting anymore. So I think that, before we build all that stuff, you have to think about what it is. Well, the military is not changing. You have to be in person. You have to serve in person. So what it is and how it is different. So that was a long discussion for me. So in your communities, how many folks are prior military that are on the rosters? Doug?
In the department?
Yeah.
Quite a few. I mean, we obviously heavily recruit military. They come with a good work ethic. They come with a good already set of established life skills and values that we obviously, correlate. A lot of people equate us to paramilitary organization. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer for us. You have those disciplined individuals who have good training. They've already got a good base and foundation of a skill set. So it works. It translates well. It translates well to the fire service. And like you said, it's a service thing. You go into the armed services, the armed forces, as a service to other people. So it just translates. It translates well. I'm tired. I'm sorry.
All good. How about
struggling
you,
with my words this morning?
So on my specific department right now, I think we have 5 veterans, and on my 2 departments that I've been on, we give 10 application points, whatever you want to call it, gets added to your raw score or whatever if you are a veteran. So you kind of get a little bit of a leg up. There is I was just looking it up. There is a fire department that operates near me called Clinton Township, and they were just approved by the VA as a GI Bill on the job training site. So they can actually take veterans who have GI Bill money left. They can use that money for like fire service, like if they were to get their bachelor's in fire science or anything like that. So that money can be used specifically for that. So I think that's a huge feather in their cap that they can say, you know, because right now in Michigan, there's people who can contract shop. You know, there's enough jobs across Southeast Michigan at least that it's no longer you're testing against 40 people for one spot, and now it's 40 departments, you know, are trying to get one guy. We just had last week, we had recruitment at the academy. We had 43 graduates, and from 8 in the morning until 12:30, every 20 minutes, we had a department come in and give their spiel to try and get people to apply with them. So there's benefits to being a veteran who goes into the fire service. We have noticed, and it's probably the work ethic that gets instilled gently, I'm sure, into you in boot camp. But over time, we have found that our veterans, whether it be Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, we've had them all. Their work ethic, their attention to detail, their physical fitness is they rise to the top. They are the best cadets and students within our academies. And I think it's a very natural transition to come out of the military and go into the fire service. It's almost, like you said, a paramilitary.
Yeah, it's the routine and the discipline of it. And that's
I had somebody compare it to military light or free trial military. One of the guys said, because he said, you know, there's a lot of the things that are the same. He goes, but you guys don't yell at us as much. Yeah. And one of the instructors was like, oh, well, we could change that. And just to be funny. But we have found in my small microcosm that our military veterans do very well. And we usually choose them as the sergeants of the academy to kind of preside over the rest of their candidates. So we have 45 that come in. Cadets, we choose 2 sergeants to kind of lead the academy, kind of be the chain of command. And it works. It works really well. It's great. We love our veterans. We love them anyway, but we love them in the fire academy because they do a really good job.
Shit, I got 4 vets on my shift of 9 at my house. I mean, one of them is in Kuwait right now on a deployment. So, I mean, I've got 4 just out of my 9.
Do you guys find that geographically, and I don't know, I'd love to see a recruitment map of branches of service of where folks come from. So historically, we will get Marines usually from Ohio, Pennsylvania, California, that's where a lot of those folks come from. So like,
that's interesting.
I know it's weird. And I don't know if that's, I don't know. I don't know
I think
why.
that's probably more of a, hey, I was there and I like the area kind of thing.
Maybe.
Because obviously military travels, they're all over the country.
Right.
And the world.
Right.
And, like, hey, I really like I was at Fort Carson in Colorado. I really like the area of Colorado Springs. I might try to settle my family down here, that kind of thing.
Sure. And that's what I was going to ask is for those who have gotten out, for Doug, for those, were those veterans predominantly from Chesterfield? Did they come back? Yeah. Or, I mean, were they homegrown
my four that are on my shift are all from here.
Okay. So they went and served. What branches?
But we have several. I got 2 Marines and 2 Army.
Okay. How about you, Freddy?
I know there's a couple of guys on that were in one of our most recent recruits was 2 Navy guys that are not from here. But they probably were at the beach at the naval base here. And like, hey, I'm cool with this, man. Although one of them's probably leaving. His wife's working on her doctorate right now, so they're probably leaving. But either way.
What about you, Freddy?
I got 2 Coasties, Air Force, Army, and a Navy.
Okay. So I think what's odd about ours is with our proximity to the coast, we have Navy corpsmen because of the Marine Corps. Marine Corps falls underneath the Department of Navy, but we have a naval hospital here. And then we have Coast Guard. So you have Marine Corps, Navy, and Coast Guard because there's 2 Coast Guard bases in close proximity to here. And 3 if you count Elizabeth City up near Doug. Mm-hmm. So, we have that. And what's odd is because of the military base, we will have recruiters, not just fire, but like NYPD. It's nothing to see NYPD down here on this military base because it's the largest military base. And with the infantry there, they're like, man, we got some high marksmen. We've got, like to Doug's point about it being paramilitary, they love the structure that it has, kind of to your point, Freddie, the moral compass that comes with it. And so they want it. And so they will you'll see NYPD cars down here and you're like, what? And it'll say recruitment division on it. And you're like, wow. We see Charlotte Mecklenburg all the time. And so it's pretty wild to see them here for those days several times during the day as part of that transition program that they have getting out of the Marine Corps. So I think it's pretty cool. I think that's an awesome way to kind of recognize our veterans. Thank you to those that serve and defend our country, and a special thank you to those that get out and serve beside us in emergency services. So a special nod to them. The other thing that we wanted to talk about was people who come into our organization as a whole. And so that was kind of a segue, right, Doug? You love it when I use that word, into kind of the other part 2 of today's conversation, which was our recruits. What would you rather have? Would you rather have a completely green, a fresh fire academy, or a lateral? And so, Freddie, I'm going to let you take this ball and run with it since it was your discussion.
So it's both of them have their advantages, and I'm kind of unique in the fact that I worked 11 years at my first spot and then was a lateral transfer and went to a department that, frankly, I was one of the older members of when I got there. Low seniority, little bit higher experience, and older in age. And so to draw the curtain back, I struggled mightily when I got there. Personality conflicts, and what have you. And I will take ownership of some of the problem because everybody says all the time, and Doug, I'm sure you say it, and Brian, I'm sure you say it, like, there's the way that you did it, and then there's our way. And you have to do it our way. And while fire is hot, water is not, you combine them and you get an outcome. There's different tactics, there's different verbiage, there's different things that you do department to department where everything's the same. Only the names really change. Like when you get from A to Z, you get there the same way. It's just there's different routes that people take. So for me, going in there, that I think that's where I struggled the most was, I've done this. Like, yeah, I know how to pull a hose. I know how to attack a fire. Like, I've been on more fires than half of this department that I'm going to. Like, it was a strategic move for me. I understand when people kind of give me shit for it. They're like, oh, you don't run as much fire anymore, and you don't do this, that, and the other thing. I was like, yeah, I got it. I got better benefits, better pay, more people on duty, better equipment. Like, it was a strategic move for me. So for me, I struggled, and I'll admit it. And I've had to overcome some personality conflicts within the department, some of which have not healed, some that have, just because of me coming in with 11 years and 39 years old, and being told by a 26-year-old, you're the new guy, shut up. And I was like, I've run more fires than you're alive. Like, you shut up. And so for that, I think a lateral transfer has a wealth of knowledge, but it needs to be applied correctly, if that makes sense.
Tactfully.
And I think it's mutual, right? Like, if you can come in and recognize that it's not your place to inject. We talked about this a couple of episodes ago. Yeah, maybe 3. It's not your place to inject. Well, the way we did it back my way, but maybe that the people on your team recognize your experience and your talent and may say, "Hey, Freddy, do you have any input?" Right? Like, that's a mutual understanding, that everyone should have, and we should be open to that
for sure. And I guess one of my problems is when we are learning a new tactic, let's say, or we are introducing a new piece of equipment to this department, and it was something that we used at my previous department. It's one of those things where I feel like I might be knowledgeable on it, but that's not my time to say that I'm knowledgeable on it. I should probably step back and just learn with everybody else.
I think in that moment, you have an opportunity to show your knowledge, not speak your knowledge. And that's where the ROI of your lateral entry really shows itself, right? So you don't have to speak up. Your actions speak louder than words. So for everybody that's a lateral entry, I will tell you, because as the chief officer, what happens is that I go into rooms with captains and they'll say, hey, Freddy, today we were out there. I'm using you as an example. We were out there training, and that new tool that we have, like, man, he showed up our new guys, like our other new guys or some of our senior guys. Like, yeah. I'm so glad we got him, right? Because here's what's going to happen. When and if we're ready, he's going to be able to promote faster and quicker. He's going to be the top candidate, and he's going to pass some of these other people. That's the conversations that are happening at my level with folks that are coming. And if people take it serious, because if not, here's what happens for the lateral who was the mistake. I don't know what we were thinking. We thought that this 10-year guy was worth it, and he's sat back and done nothing. So the question is, what do you do with that 10 and 11 years of experience as a lateral, right? Or it's the other conversation of, man, he sat there and was all mouth and no action. So that would be my statement to that, because that's what I'm hearing as the chief officers with the captains in those rooms with the door closed. Once the bay is done and y'all are out on the couch, out in the bays, and we're having the conversations with the doors closed. That's the type of things that are happening. And when it's no joke conversation, it's serious conversation about what's the next step, what's the next 3 to 5 look like for us as an organization, who's going to ride that right seat next go around, what does the long-term vision look like? If your departments are having those conversations and you're the lateral guy, right? And it wasn't, you obviously made a move that was very strategic for you and on purpose. But again, if you're the good candidate, right? Not the one who made the move and you're not the good candidate, but if you're who was strategic, but also was the good candidate, those are the conversations that are being had. And I think our listeners need to hear that. If you're all mouth, your actions will show up. And then usually what ends up happening is you're going to be forced somewhere else. I'll just say that. You'll move on, right? You'll move on because you won't last because, it won't be tolerated. Not in a high functioning, high expectation organization anyways.
No,
And if it didn't come off, like, I love where I'm at. I don't regret my decision one bit. There was maybe a 3-month period right at the beginning where I was like, what did I do here? Was this the right move? And I think any move comes with that. When I first got into the fire service and my first taste of probation, I got hired in 2010. I was born in 82. So what's that? 28 years old, a little bit older getting into it. And I got like dudes yelling at me. And I was like, what are we doing here? Like, what is this really, do I want to do this? Do I want to get yelled at and like degraded for years? And it stops, you know what I'm saying? But the main thing that I think I want to make sure doesn't go undersold is if you are stagnant, if you are unhappy, if you feel like you need a move, don't sit. Like, make that move. Make that lateral transfer. There's a lot to be said about staying at a place for 30 years and the loyalty and stuff. But there's also a lot to be said about your mental health and being beaten down and not, when you have to drag yourself out of bed to go to work, like, that's a thing. And there's places out there that might be better. So for me, the lateral transfer, I want to accumulate as much knowledge as possible within my organization so that we can be effective. We could be the most effective fire department that we can be. But with that being said, it's always good, I think, to get that new recruit in there. And I believe that it helps everybody get back to baseline. Like, you got that lateral guy that comes in who was on a tech rescue team or a hazmat team or a dive team at his other spot. And you come in and a lot of it is just review. You don't have to go deep into the weeds of stuff because everybody's kind of got like this baseline level of knowledge. You get that new recruit in and it's like, hey, we've actually got to go over what an alpine butterfly is or how to tie, a wrap 3 pull 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things that you have to go over.
Yeah. Here's what I was going to say is I think it's so I'm reading a book. Let me pause that thought. I'm reading a book right now that,
you know how to read?
Well, it's an audiobook. So there's that. So
There
I
it
shouldn't say I'm reading. I'm listening to an audiobook. I spend a lot of time in the car to and from work. And so it's called The Speed of Trust, The One Thing That Changes Everything. It's by Stephen Covey. And it was at the recommendation of one of my battalion chiefs, Lancaster. He's on C shift. And he and I were talking. And I was very vulnerable. I told him, I said, hey, what I wanted to do for the last 12 months here is not what I have been able to do. Let me give you that clarity. And we were talking about things and we were talking about trust. Trust was one of those things that came up while we were chatting. And I think that as a lateral, it's very, very hard, right? Why do employees usually leave is because they don't feel that they can trust the organization, right? Or their managers or, just the situation. But I loved one of the comments.
Or they feel stuck.
Right. Well, and that's trust, right? You don't feel that you can move because, that boils down to feeling stuck means that ultimately you don't feel that you can trust what? Progression, that you can trust the process that you're going to have forward momentum. Think about it this way. Have you ever sat around and as I'm driving, I'm thinking about application to the fire service here. And I got to thinking, have you ever been there in the room where someone said, trust me? And what was your initial gut reaction when someone in the fire service said, trust me? It went one of two ways. It usually went, no, I'm not going to trust you, because you had this underlying of like, I trust the people that show me that they can do whatever it was they said. You don't have to say that you don't have to say, trust me. I build it based off of what? Off of what your reputation of what you've already shown me. Mm-hmm. And so I shared, if you were watching my stories or had any of my stories, I showed it. It was a marble theory. And trust is built off of a jar full of marbles, of all these little things that are built based off of trust. And so when you sit in an interview, and I didn't realize this, but some of the best interview questions that they ask are often the hardest. So for that lateral entry person, where they say, tell me about a time that, what are they doing? They're trying to tell you or get you to tell them something that they could build trust to be able to hire you. And so whether you're brand new, fresh out of the academy, completely green, or a lateral entry, and I know we want to get to the green and the academy ones here too for topics, it is very, very important for us to be able to show what? Trust. That we can trust the rest of our team, the rest of the fire service with these people. And so I think to your point, Freddie, is that's what it's built upon. So you go back to that second scenario is if somebody said, trust me, one of two things either happen. Either you have a reputation of, and this guy's lied the whole time, I can't trust him, or you will, because of everything that they have or have not done that it's based upon. So either way, how about green folks, brand new, no experience, come in the door? What's your thoughts on those, Doug? Do you guys have any of those, or you require everything?
Yeah, no, I mean, we've in my 11 years here, I think we've only done one true lateral school where it was only lateral transfers, and it was an abbreviated recruit school. Obviously, every recruit school we will typically have at least one who is coming over from a different service. And I mean, you could call that lateral if you want to, but if they have to go through the whole recruit school, I just feel like it's not a lateral. But anyway, it's mixed reviews from the training staff and from the guys and girls in the field, whether or not they want to take a block of clay and mold it, or whether they want to try to reshape the one that's already molded. There's something to be said about both. I think Freddy's talked about a lot of good points about the laterals, or the people with prior experience in a career or volunteer department. Most people who come in this service have some sort of background in the fire service. You don't get a whole lot of completely green people. But the green ones that have zero fire service experience need those people in the recruit school with them to help them understand because some people learn differently. Like Freddie was talking about rope stuff, about, wrap 3, pull 2, whatever, or butterflies. Hey man, why don't you try it this way? Because I've got some experience with that. They need that. The green people need those people to lean on, and it takes a lot of pressure off of the training staff. Some people just are harder to understand, and the people who have experience can make it. Most of us are hands-on learners. They can make it understandable to the people who don't understand. Hey man, try this. This is what really helped me because I struggled at one point. This is what helped me. And it just, like I said, it takes a lot of pressure off of the training staff who cannot be there all the time. Like, you don't get a one-on-one mentorship in the recruit school with instructor to cadet ratio. So you rely on your peers for that. So I think it says a lot to have the prior experienced people in there with the green. But I like a mixture of both. I don't want all new people. I don't want all laterals, because I don't want all the clashing of the egos, like Freddie was talking about, of I've been there and I've done that. Well, the guy that's been on 3 departments in 9 years, like, that's something, there's some flags there to be said anyway. You know what I mean? Now, if it's hey, these guys got 9 years experience with one department, all right, a little different to me. You hire a guy that's been on 3 or 4 departments in 10, 12 years. Like, what? All right, why? You're not telling me that all those you were unhappy at all those for department reasons. That's personal stuff. So
that comes back to the trust too, doesn't it, Doug?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, why am I gonna get close to you? You've been on 4 departments in 9 years.
Right.
I'm not going to put the effort in to get to know you if you're just going to, at the smallest little inconvenience, you're going to bounce out of here.
Yeah, like
You
why
You
did
put
you
in for a
leave?
vacation day. You put in for a vacation day and you don't get it, and now you're like, F this place, and you bounce out. Like, I got better time.
That's
Better time to waste.
that dips into the generational thing and the willingness to change. And again, the people, the generational gap of I want to serve this department for my career, or versus I'm just going to move on to the next thing that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And that goes back into the I don't want to say enabling, but the pacification of not working through hard times and not understanding that sometimes you have to fight through some things to succeed. And you can't just continue to roll over, or you're going to be rolling over your whole life. And if you're
Growth comes when you're uncomfortable.
absolutely, if you're not happy here on your fourth department in 10 years, what makes you think you're going to be happy at the fifth? Maybe it's an internal thing. If you're running into assholes all day, you're the asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like girlfriends. If you're on your fifth wife or third wife, maybe it's not them.
Shoo.
Maybe it's not them.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like you've always seen that. I don't want to say you've always seen that, but you've seen that guy, the guy at the firehouse who is sitting there complaining about, marriage and all this other stuff. And you're like, or is on his other girlfriend. And you're like, I don't know. Maybe
That's
something
something that bothers me to no end about the laterals or the people with prior experiences. They always talk about, well, we did it this way there. Well, why the hell did you come here?
Yeah.
If you like doing it that way or want to keep doing it that way, why did you leave there? That's a personal thing. That's not the department. You didn't dislike Henrico or Hanover or wherever you came from to come here. You got a problem internally that you need to address.
Yeah. I'll say this, and I don't want to go back to the laterals, but I struggled a little bit like Freddy. And I still do, when I worked in a community for, from 98 till a year ago. So a long time. What is that? 23, 24 years in a system. I'm used to a certain ways of doing things. However, I appreciate learning new things, new ways, new systems, new opportunities. I find value in the ways that I did things. And I also find value in the way that things are now. And I think that it depends on our mindset. So like to your point, Doug, if I go in and I say, well, I think we should do it this way, the way that we did it before. I think 90% of that is in your outlook and your tone and the way it's presented, right? Like I think that's it. If you go back in and say, well, this is the way we did it from where I was from, and I think that's the way it should be. And you automatically build a wall. That right there is going to get you every time. Yep. If you come back and say, "Hey, this is the way I was taught," or "This is the way I know before," can you explain to me, for clarity, for understanding, why we do it this way, right? And you have to accept it. How many times have you ever sat down with your captain and you're like, hey, I don't agree with it, but when I walk out of this door, it's your way or it's the department's way. Because at the end of the day, that's the way it's going to be. And I have one or two choices. Either I can like that or I can move on. So either way.
I think it comes down to, go ahead, Doug. Sorry.
And sometimes that needs to be out of the fire service. If you continue to say, I'm not going to do it this way because I like it this way, well, maybe the fire service isn't for you. Don't go to another department and take that negativity and bullshit there. Maybe you need to find another job, another career field.
Yeah. I think it comes down to too, and this can go for new recruits and this can actually go for probably laterals, is if you think you are the smartest person in the room, you're wrong.
100% of the time.
Because, and again, I struggled. We ran a lot of fire in my previous spot, and we don't run a lot of fire in this spot. But that doesn't mean that I'm smarter at suppression because of my old spot. My new spot trains significantly more than my old spot. Well, so does that mean that like I'm better prepared? I don't know.
I always try to look at it from this lens. when you change organizations, much like how we have trucks fundamentally the same, we do have options that are different because why? Strategically, we had to make different decisions. So fundamentally, to come in here and pick on a spec, it's not right. I mean, think about it. When we go to a trade show, and Doug, we saw this recently at Safer, we walked around and we said, oh, well, that truck wouldn't work where we're at, but it probably works for them. Right? So why would we go to an organization and automatically ridicule or critique the way that now the shirt that we wear organizationally, what we have asked to be a part of, to automatically ridicule it when we don't have the fundamental knowledge of why it's done that way? It speaks to maybe we should ask for clarity, for understanding. Hey, why do we do it this way? I'm the new guy. Right? Hey, this is the way I did it before. I'm not saying it was right for here. I just want to understand why we do it this way, because this is what I know, right? And if it's not that way, then it works. Kind of to that, to go back to full circle to what Freddy said, is if he did it way A back home and it can work that way, fine. We should at least consider it. But if it doesn't work, then he needs to learn way B and move on. And that's the way it should be. So, yeah, I think we're good. Hey, couple things. So snail mail.
It's snail mail time.
We're going to do that. That's what I've been over here looking at. If you see my eyes kind of drifting away, and I've been trying to tally the votes.
Yeah, you know who won.
Oh, you got to take the familiar votes out of it. We're not counting family votes.
No.
Well, hey.
I was going to say, we're not going to count our votes, because I did use a couple of different social media channels. So we are absolutely
taking Preston's vote.
Or Emily's, right? Because that was your two.
Preston voted for me.
I know he did. My own kid sold me out and gave a vote to Freddy.
Well, you take the family votes out, me and Freddy are tied.
There you go. So
you know what, Doug? Let's hey, just like fantasy football last year, let's take the champ together.
You're not going to make it this year, buddy.
Here's the thing.
I'm coming for you.
So here's the thing. That's what I was going to say. We're recording on Tuesday. It's not been a full week. Do we want to wait and announce the winner on Instagram and do one more push? Let's do that, because it's pretty close. I mean, and then John, God love John, who Spotify comments said, and I'm going to read his. This is the reason why I wanted to do it. Hopefully.
Here's the snail mail.
Well, here's the snail mail. Do the sound, Matt.
It's snail mail time.
Okay, thanks. Because that was terrible intro. I hope. Okay. So John types on Spotify. That was an old man statement. He typed on Spotify. Deviled eggs are the clear choice here. I'll eat some wings and everything else for sure. But if you leave me alone in a room with some deviled eggs, it's going to get dangerous. And honestly, the spinach dip isn't a bad pick either. I just can't devour the dip-covered bread bowl like something in front of other people. Cretin in front of other people.
Like a cretin.
Cretin. Okay. Anyways,
like a maniac is what he's saying.
Okay, a maniac. Those big words, John. Don't do that to me. I have mixed emotions about that one. Side note, there's another rogue John telling people to use all their sick time. Different John. So, John, thank you for that comment, but you didn't vote. He didn't give us a vote there. So he did say
he kind of voted for everybody.
Well, he said the deviled eggs are the clear choice here. So is that vote go to Matt or to Adam? Excuse me.
Yeah, but I think the intent was
for us,
to
Doug.
Vote on the. All right, so everybody picked three. Who had the best average three, not the best single.
Yeah. So
that's the intent.
Yeah. So I mean. He said deviled eggs are the clear choice there. So with my magic pen, I'm going to give it to Adam. Okay.
Oh,
trash. Don't kick my dog. Don't kick my dog. Can we go to that one? Because that was one where we did some snail mail. So we're going to circle back and said, thank you all for the advice. Podcasts like yours got me hired and inspired me to put this application in. Ropes and books are ordered, and the sweatshirt and beanie will stay on the treadmill from this day forward. Boneless wings are like picking your defense first round. Freddie took this one. P.S. I'm a 25-year-old male in the Midwest. So, Freddie, you get that vote. He's got 3 so far.
And I agree. Don't kick your dog.
Social FD. I love him. He's our other podcast. Okay, two things. The meatballs are a must. And why does Freddy sound like Michael Scott every once in a while? It's awesome.
This
Seriously.
is amazing. This
Seriously.
made my day.
Seriously, listen and see. Haha. FYI, Unky won in my opinion. The deviled. How do you spell it? Haha. Yep, Unky is our choice. So we got some other ones. So now with that, because of the other platforms, Freddy, you and Adam are tied. Just want you to know that. Okay. And then Colt, you come every week. And here's what he says. Boneless wings are literally overpriced chicken nuggets. Get out of here. What's the love? So
hey, you know what, Brian? The truth hurts.
I know. So anyways, I only went to Spotify for comments this week in snail mail. So I don't do it as good as what Matt does, but he'll be back next week. He had some not forced. I think he did voluntary overtime. I think.
He had a busy week.
Yeah, he had a busy week. So our producer, I hope I'm doing okay, but I wanted to go there because those were so good this week. I could go to one single spot. So comment on it.
He had to save up for more avocados.
Yeah, he had to. Yeah, he needed some money, and that and the salmon. The salmon was a little pricey at Costco.
Salmon
at the Costco's. But yeah, so right now Freddie and Adam are tied. We'll see who clearly pulls out at the end with the win. So
Doug is so angry right now.
No, I have a vote. I have one.
You do? I have one.
Yeah, I don't know if it was on Facebook or Instagram, but I got one.
Because if you pulled out the family vote, I'd have none.
No, somebody said Doug won.
Oh, well, my other kid voted for me, so there's that because he likes the.
I need to go create a whole bunch of Russian bots to vote for me.
Yes,
I want you to know, Freddie. Though he almost voted for you until he saw the queso dip on mine, so there was that. So he almost.
Well, Preston is listening. Preston's my guy.
Yeah, he's your guy. So he helped.
Tyler, hold on. Holy shit! Tyler. Oh my god. Lysakowski, I have no idea. Said I did. Hagen 67. Doug got the best game day snacks. That's 2 for me.
That's 2. What platforms? So that
this is on Instagram. Firedog 55 said Unky. Freddie gave Preston, or Preston gave Freddie's vote.
Yep, and Emily gave Freddie there.
We're not counting.
Yep. Yes, we are.
Unky said Matt.
Yeah, I gave Matt the 1 vote. So, yeah, we're going to tally these. We'll tally these offline. Thank you guys so much for listening this week. Such a great topic. Your call to action this week is drop a comment and let us know how many veterans serve in your department and which department it is. So that way you can give them a veteran shout out for this week's episode. We'd love to support our vets. Y'all got anything else?
No, sir. I need a nap.
Okay. Well, I'm going to clean out the shed. Get my wife all hot and bothered with Christmas boxes.
Oh, my word.
Your she shed?
My she shed. All right. Freddie, you want to roll us out?
Roll it, GG.
Freddie sucks at fantasy football.
Roll it, GG.
Before you leave, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and give these firemen a huge thumbs up. Also, make sure you check out thecoolfireman.com for more. Thanks!